Imagine priceless treasures hidden for thousands of years, stolen in daring heists that left ancient tombs empty. From golden relics to sacred artifacts, these items were meant to be preserved, but became targets for some of history's greatest tomb raiders. Today, we're uncovering the true stories behind infamous tomb raids and the impact of these stolen treasures on our understanding of history. Ancient artifacts are more than just objects. They're pieces of human history, clues to our ancestors' beliefs, cultures, and lives. But many of these priceless items have been stolen, sold, or lost forever to the black market. Let's dive into the greatest heists of ancient artifacts, exploring how tomb raiders changed history and the consequences that linger today. The Valley of the Kings in Egypt was once the sacred resting place of pharaohs like Tutankhamun and Ramses II. While we imagine these tombs filled with treasures, the reality is that many were emptied centuries ago by tomb raiders seeking gold and jewels. By the time modern archaeologists reached many of these tombs, much of their wealth and priceless information was gone. Ancient Egyptian tombs held not just wealth but knowledge, such as the burial practices, beliefs about the afterlife, and hieroglyphic inscriptions. With so many tombs looted, our understanding of these dynasties remains incomplete. The Rosetta Stone is one of the most famous ancient artifacts in the world, but it has a complex history of seizure and claim. Discovered by French soldiers in 1799 during Napoleon's campaign in Egypt, it was later taken by the British following their defeat of the French. The stone, inscribed with a decree in 3 scripts, became the key to deciphering Egyptian hieroglyphs. While it's on display in the British Museum, Egypt has repeatedly called for its return, highlighting the ethical debate around ownership. This artifact's theft wasn't a heist in the traditional sense, but its removal from Egypt has sparked a long-standing controversy. The treasures of ancient Mesopotamia, one of the world's earliest civilizations, have been plundered throughout history. However, one of the greatest losses occurred after the 2003 invasion of Iraq, when the Iraq Museum in Baghdad was looted. Thousands of artifacts, including priceless items from Babylon, Sumer, and Assyria, were stolen or destroyed. Some items were recovered, but many remain missing, lost to the black market or private collectors. The looting of the Iraq Museum was a devastating blow to archaeology, erasing links to one of humanity's earliest cultures and creating a gap in our understanding of Mesopotamian history. Tutankhamun tomb is one of the rare examples of a nearly intact royal Egyptian tomb when it was discovered by Howard Carter in 1922. But the legend of the curse of the pharaohs has grown around those who entered the tomb, partly due to mysterious deaths that followed its discovery. The so-called curse, however, was likely a myth intended to deter thieves. Ancient Egyptians inscribed curses on tombs to warn intruders, yet that didn't stop modern looters from raiding other tombs in Egypt. The discovery of Tutankhamun treasures reshaped Egyptology, but it also highlighted how many other tombs had been emptied, their treasures lost forever. The Elgin Marbles, a collection of classical Greek marble sculptures from the Parthenon, were removed by Lord Elgin in the early 19th century and sold to the British Museum. Greece has long called for their return, arguing that the marbles were taken without proper permission from the Ottoman Empire, which ruled Greece at the time. The debate surrounding the Elgin Marbles is part of a larger conversation about the ownership of ancient artifacts and the impact of colonialism on cultural heritage. Their removal was not a traditional heist, but their displacement from Greece is viewed by many as cultural theft. Today, illegal excavation and smuggling of ancient artifacts remain a serious issue. Sites in Syria, Iraq, and Egypt are frequently targeted by looters who dig up relics to sell on the black market. These artifacts often end up in private collections, robbing the world of historical knowledge and context. The black market trade in artifacts fuels the destruction of archaeological sites, with some artifacts damaged beyond repair. Organizations like UNESCO and Interpol are working to combat artifact smuggling, but the demand for ancient artifacts makes it difficult to stop. This ongoing loss represents a modern form of tomb raiding, continuing the cycle of lost history. When artifacts are stolen, it's not just the physical items that are lost. It's the knowledge they carry about ancient cultures. Archaeologists rely on artifacts to piece together ancient customs, daily life, and even languages. Without their original context, these artifacts lose much of their meaning, becoming mere objects rather than historical evidence. The loss of these artifacts affects not only the countries they're taken from, but also our shared understanding of human history. As countries and institutions debate the return of artifacts, the question of who owns history remains a sensitive global issue. Scholars and historians have long debated the repatriation of stolen artifacts. Noted archaeologist Zahi Hawass, a prominent advocate for returning Egyptian artifacts, argues that artifacts belong in their place of origin to preserve historical context and national identity. His research on the repatriation of ancient artifacts has been instrumental in raising awareness about cultural preservation. As I explored these stories, Hawass's insights provided valuable context on why returning artifacts matters not just to nations, but to history itself. The stories of tomb raiders and stolen artifacts remind us of the fragility of our shared history. From the Valley of the Kings to Mesopotamia and beyond, these treasures hold irreplaceable insights into the lives of ancient civilizations. But when they're taken, it's not just items that are lost, it's knowledge, heritage, and identity. The legacy of these artifacts lives on, sparking debates about ownership, ethics, and the preservation of history. What do you think about the repatriation of ancient artifacts? Should they be returned to their countries of origin? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into history's greatest mysteries and treasures.